Welcome back. Today's episode is all about Egypt's digital transformation and the way for the future. Egypt is one of the pioneering countries in the MENA region and Africa to digitally transform its economy in order to accelerate development, modernize its economy, and enhance day-to-day lives of the society. President Sisi keeps on following up on the executive position of national projects related to the communications and information technology sector due to its growing importance not just regionally but internationally, and digitization initiatives to support efforts of the digital government performance. To talk to us more about this moving forward into the digital era is Dr. Abdel Wahab Ghoneim, the Vice Chairman of the Arab Federation of Digital Economy. Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Minnie.
Firstly, can you tell us a bit about digital transformation on a global scale?
Yeah. First of all, we would like to say congratulations to our President, Mr. Fattah al-Sisi, to be a leader. He get a leader medal, from the Arab Parliament.
Yes.
This is, we are so proud of him. Yeah, first of all, to have a look for the global outlook for the digitalization. The technology accelerating in exponential way very fast since Dr. Klaus Schwab, the founder and the chairman of the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland, he convinced that the fourth industrial revolution shall change the world, the production and the way we live.
Yes.
This is a big statement. It means that all the products, new products, it will be smart, and all the cities will be smart cities. This is a big gap between the living now and in future, in near future.
Yes.
There is a traditional culture in the Arab world and a lot of habits, and all these changes needs a lot of budgets, hundreds of millions. You must inject in the infrastructure for development infrastructure, for speeding the internet and for cleansing the data and initiating new databases and sharing all the old files with the new files, to have digital paperless and smart government. All these needs a lot of efforts, a lot of work, a lot of efforts from the government.
But there's also been a push, sometimes people are not very ready or accepting of the digital form of work. But as far as I know, that COVID-19, not only just in Egypt, but around the world, has pushed people more to a contactless sort of dealing with either paper, money, or whatever it is. So it is pushing digital transformation. Is this also true here in Egypt?
Yes, the same. You know, last year the world spent in the ICT sector around $4.1 trillion. This is a big, this is around 4.5 from the global GDP.
Yes.
Yeah, what that means? To going and transferring to digital era, you must spend a lot of money. Yeah, this is not available for all the countries.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the first thing. And second thing, during COVID-19 pandemic, most of the top countries suffering, they haven't prepared themselves to facing like this virus.
Yes.
And in Egypt, thanks God for that, we are, since around 5 years, we're going to structural reforms in economic and financial sectors and every government sectors. This is helping Egypt to overcome during pandemic. And in the region, in Africa and in MENA region, most of the countries, their growth rate going to zero and negative.
Yes.
Egypt was the only country in this area
that's still
the GDP is positive and is going to 3.6%.
Yes.
This is very, very positive areas in Egypt. And again, in educational systems.
Which brings me to
we preparing ourselves
Yes.
and developing the systems.
online
Yeah,
learning.
online and the interactive educational systems, and around in Egypt around 25 million students in most of the stages. They did their exams, they got their lessons and everything, and they overcome this pandemic.
Yes, which brings me to the next idea. We basically overnight saw demand for online or the internet and for digital work happen after the pandemic, like you were saying, online learning, for instance, online shopping, online documents. I know there's a portal now for the government where you can sort of, renew your ID, for instance, renew your license. All of this has made life so much easier for a lot of citizens. And was this infrastructure already there, or was it built on recently?
Yeah, do you know, returning back to the fourth industrial revolution,
Yes.
the components of the industry 4.0, using the artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, the quantum computing, the 5G for communications and the internet, and the nanotechnology and biotechnology, all these sciences, new sciences, merging the physical part with the biological part, with the digital part. No barriers now.
Yes.
This is the main issue. And all the countries now trying to develop their infrastructure. Returning back to Egypt, Egypt injected around 100 billion Egyptian pounds
Yes.
to develop its digital infrastructure. We're replacing all the copper cables with fiber optic cables. We're launching TIPA-1 satellite for internet and communication to cover all the borders and Sinai and New Valley, and even for the Nile Valley countries.
Yes.
This is why Egypt in the pandemic overcome the viruses.
Yes.
And even in the healthcare, we're using now a lot of applications for vaccines, for the new hospitals, for connecting all the hospitals, and for medical insurance now, which is applied in Port Said and now trying to apply it in another 5 governorate. There is a lot of success stories in Egypt.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, we developed the internet speed in Egypt. Since 3 years, the internet speed in Egypt was around 16 megabit per second.
Yes.
Now the average all over the country is around 40 megabit per second. But the big success in the new smart cities, it ranges from 100 megabit per second to 200 megabit per second.
Yes.
Now, when the government moved next month to the new administrative capital, the new era of New Egypt began.
Yes.
Yeah, by flourishing the economy, fostering and speeding all the e-services for the government. Now we're offering around in Port Said 155 e-services, and after a couple of years, we offering around 550 e-services all over the Egypt. This means you must re-engineering all the government institutions, processes, and we're moving towards new data models. We're offering all these services by different omni-channels, through websites, through portals, through mobile apps and everything. And with the citizen must paying in digital form by his credit cards, by using any mobile wallet or any e-payment gateway.
Yes.
This going towards cashless and secured society.
Yes. The information technology, TIDA itself, through the Software Engineering Competence Center, launched an initiative to help the local software development companies follow the latest transformation global trends. Can you tell us more about this initiative, and why is it important?
Yeah, The Ministry of Communication and Information Technology and its arm, ETIDA pushing the ICT industry for flourishing. It helped the small and medium companies working in software and applications and telecommunication sector, helping them by pushing them technology, giving them what's the standards they must going, helping them to go to the global market, and even helping them by building capacity for their staff. This is the main issue for ETIDA. And again, these companies, small and medium companies, the government give them some projects during the digital transformation initiatives. Yeah, in new administrative capitals and in the infrastructure and the government participatory connectivity between all the building governments. Some of them working in the hardware, some of them working in software, some of them working in the telecommunications. And all these sectors, provided big positions for Egypt in the Middle East.
How do you assess the roadmap Egypt is introducing to local software companies in embracing the digital transformation global trends? Do you see this shift as important, and is this a way to sort of make Egypt the new India?
Inshallah, yeah. Do you know now Egypt going on the roadmap?
Yes.
Very rapidly, as we see it in an exponential way. Now we have success story in Port Said. We finished all the government transformation there. All the government building there connected by high-speed internet cables, fiber optics cables, and they serving all the citizens through websites, through smartphones. Now we're transferring to another 5 governorates. Why we didn't begin in all over of Egypt? Because the big infrastructures needs hundreds of billions of dollars. We cannot inject all this money in one spot. This is why. Now at the same time we're preparing our cadres of the government cadres for the human resources, preparing themselves to use these new technologies. Because now when they moving to new administrative capital, they are not using the same methods, the same traditional old methods. No, we are going now to paperless government, to digital government. They must using all smart applications and serving all the citizens in very high efficient and effectively 24/7 e-services. This is why the citizen shall be happy. He can usually get any services at night, at any time, by 7 days, not only at the working hours. This is the first issue. Second issue, we combating the corruption. We combating the traditional
human
way.
error as well.
The errors. And again, we're going to welfare the Egyptian citizen. We saving his money, his time. He get all his services during sitting home and sitting in his office and paying in the digital way.
Can you firstly define what digitalization means right now?
Digitalization, as our initiatives, Egypt digitalization, is to digitizing all the government sectors between government to government, government to business, government to citizen. This means a lot of re-engineering all the processes and old processes and changing all the laws and legislations and building new trends for our cadres and the government cadres. And even that, all the transmission, it must be in digital. You must going towards cashless and paperless participatory government. No
Yes.
papers at all after they began.
The digital transformation. We're just going to take a look at a report about Egypt and Sudan enhancing cooperation in the IT sector and achieving digital transformation, where the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Amr Talat, and his Sudanese counterpart discussed ways to enhance the cooperation within the fields of communication and IT, especially those related to achieving a digital transformation. Here's a closer look about this cooperation.
Minister of Communications and Information Technology Amr Talat and his Sudanese counterpart discussed ways to enhance joint cooperation in the fields of communications and IT, especially those related to achieving digital transformation. Talat reviewed Egypt's digital strategy, which is based on two axes, namely launching digital government services for citizens, while the second is creating a base of skilled cadres through an integrated strategy to train youth at different levels in information technology programs, as well as qualifying them for the labor market and refining them with the digital skills necessary to build a digital Egypt. While the third axis is concerned with sponsoring creativity and encouraging youth to think creatively through implementing a plan to establish 15 digital creativity centers throughout the country. Talat expressed his aspiration to establish a center for digital creativity in Sudan in order to implement joint projects in training and programs to foster creativity and entrepreneurship among young people from the two countries. He pointed out that the pillars of the strategy are to provide the necessary regulatory legislative framework and to develop the digital infrastructure through the implementation of a number of projects to benefit from the international data carrying cable network that links Asia, Africa and Europe to raise the efficiency of telecommunications and internet services in Sudan. For his part, Sudanese Minister of Communication pointed out that his country is anticipating a new investment and development era, as it is witnessing radical transformation at all levels, openness to the world, and return to the international community, praising Egypt's role in support of Sudan in achieving its development strategy, as well as the pioneering Egyptian expertise in digital transformation that Sudan would benefit from.
Welcome back, and I want to ask you, sir, about this cooperation protocol between Egypt and Sudan. The Minister Amr Talat and his Sudanese counterpart discussed ways to enhance joint cooperation within the IT sector itself. How do you see this, and what kind of digital transformation are we looking at when it comes to Sudan and Egypt?
Yeah, about the strong ties between Egypt and Sudan, yeah, it is a big story because we are living in the same Nile Valley.
Yes.
And the President Sisi, since a couple of days, he's supporting Sudan with the French President to injecting investment, foreign investment in Sudan, and issue the World Bank to help Sudan financially. This is why we're living in Sudan as one nation.
Yes.
Yeah. Yesterday, with the presence in His Excellency Dr. Mustafa Badbouli,
Yes.
Dr. Amr Talat, the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, with his counterpart of Sudan Minister, signed MOU for exchanging the experiences and the expertise
Yes.
in the ICT sector and enhancing the investment, growth of the investment in Sudan, because Sudan's suffering from the IT infrastructure.
Yes.
This is why we're trying to help Sudan and give them our knowledge and experiences for the digital transformation and helping them for capacity building for their people. And again, our TIPA-1 satellites, here covering Egypt and Sudan for internet and communication. We're trying to help them to pushing, giving advice and giving some applications to use it.
During this meeting between both ministers from Sudan and Egypt, the Egyptian Minister of Communications also said that, or he reviewed the strategy of Egypt itself and said that it's going to be two different axes, which is basically launching a digital government service and training skilled workers.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the current digital strategy? And when will we start to see the fruits of this strategy? Is it going to be short-term, long-term, and what's going to be expected from it?
Usually the transformation strategy takes from 3 to 5 years because it needs a lot of money,
Yes.
a lot of efforts. And the money not only for developing the infrastructure and speeding the internet speed, nothing, all these things. You must
Converting
doing
documents.
a lot of job.
Yes.
You must doing the data cleansing for the
Yes.
old data.
Yes.
You must joining all the databases in different platforms, in different kind of companies. All these things, it needs a lot of time. When you have a unified database secured and integration between all the ministries and government institutions, this is the basics. And after that, going to developing your infrastructure, and you developing a lot of e-payment gateways for the citizens to pay
Yes.
for their services, and you developing a lot of applications for mobile applications
Yes.
for them. And now Egypt launched since the mid of the last year the Egypt platform. This is the main platform. All the Egyptian citizens must register in it through their ID and to get all the services through this platform.
Yes.
And this is the main issue. And second issue for the developing our cadres. And yeah, because you know, the first phase I sharing in this one, you trained more than 100,000 of people.
Yes.
Around 55,000 moving to new administrative capital, and the other working in around 32,000 government buildings. Because you know, some of them moving to new administrative capitals, but most of them staying in their locations in the government, in the other governorate, the serving the people.
Yes.
But they must connecting all of them with high-speed connectivity.
Yes.
This is the main issue, because we working in different pillars. The third pillar is laws and regulations and legislative and
Have to
processes.
change.
This is the main issue. We must modernizing all the laws we now issuing.
Yes.
Since 3 years, the law for combating cyber crimes. We're issuing the digital signature law. We're issuing the privacy law. A lot of laws, you must use it for governance, all this digital society. And again, we're forming a lot of Supreme Council for Digital Society, Supreme Council for the Artificial Intelligence, Supreme Council for the digital payments. This is, we completely different since 3 years. And even for central bank,
Yes.
now they're using the fintech technology, which is financial technology. You know, since last year, a lot of branches for a lot of Egyptian banks,
Yes.
it is digital bank, nothing at all for the human being.
Yes.
Yeah, we're changing a lot, but still we need a lot because we must using the artificial intelligence applications. This is new sciences to Egypt. Now we're moving towards using the Internet of Things. Internet of Things means all the new smart cities using Internet of Things for controlling the traffic, controlling the weather, the cameras, the security, everything.
Which brings me to the next idea. Cybersecurity is a big topic, not just in Egypt, everywhere in the world.
Cybersecurity, all the world suffering from cybersecurity.
Yes.
You know, last year,
The Pentagon was
world
attacked.
loses around $6 trillion
Yes.
by these crimes because, you know, a lot of hackers, and not only hackers as individuals, they are groups of hackers controlled by money laundering groups and drugs groups and all these things. They're using the internet for exchanging all these things. And even again now, for the other challenge is the digital money.
Yes.
The encrypted digital money now, it gets around $1.5 trillion. These trillions of dollars, the countries loses from their economies. Yeah, this is why, you know, alhamdulillah, Egypt, the main rating institutions like Fitch and Moody's and Standard and Poor's saying that the Egyptian economy is stable outlook.
Yes.
This is very nice because most of the countries near us, they have this stability.
Yes.
And in the second thing is Egypt GDP raising. We are reached now to around $362 billion, which Egypt now is the second biggest country in GDP in the Middle East and Africa, with expecting by the end of 2021 we shall reaching to around $400 billion. Yeah, this is big success for the government and for our political leaders.
It definitely is. What about the 15 digital creativity centers that Egypt is currently implementing? What's this center going to do, and why is it important?
Yeah, Egypt did established a lot of centers in new administrative capitals. We built the first and the biggest data centers in the Middle East and in Africa. This serving all the government entities all over Egypt. It is secured, 100% secured. It has a lot of hundreds of super servers. It has very big capacity for storage. It has very high processing power. Yeah, all these connected for the old databases, more than 100 databases in the government, in secured traffic by encrypting all the data in and out from the government sectors and in everywhere to these centers. These centers, by the way, cost around $1 billion.
That's a big number.
Yeah, and again we built another building, the same in everything, as a backup outside the Cairo and new capital, administrative capital, we don't know where, as a backup. You must have a backup because you're working in non-stop government.
Yes. This is part of the cybersecurity initiatives that the government is taking place.
It is secured 100%.
Yes.
You're using physical security and logical security. Physical security, all the buildings secured physically by everything. No one in working in the building can have a look for any records because you're working with the privacy for the citizen data and information. When this information and data going outside the building, transmitting through satellites or fiber optics cables, they do encryption, random encryption. You cannot know what's the data if you receive it.
The Minister of Information Technology expressed aspiration to establish a center for digital creativity as well in Sudan. Why is this something that would interest the Egyptian government?
Yeah, we have a good experience with the creativity centers in Egypt. We have the biggest one in New Administrative Center. Yeah, it has incubators for the students and for
Yes.
all the youth to experimenting their applications. We have foreign universities and digital university there. We have the headquarters for the biggest technology companies working there. This is why you must have new generations for our youth
Yes.
working in these new technologies like artificial intelligence and big data analytics and Internet of Things. And again, we built 6 from these centers in our governorate.
Yes.
When we transferring this technology to Sudan, you helping Sudan to build their creativity centers for helping their youth there, Sudanese youth,
Yes.
to train themselves there and do experiments, their applications, their software there. The creativity and innovation centers all over the world, they leading the nations towards the new era of technology and in digital society and in paperless participatory government.
The Egyptian minister also said that they target to benefit from the international data carrying cable networks that link Asia, Africa, and Europe to raise the efficiency of telecommunications and internet services in Sudan. I mean, can you tell us more about this framework and what does it actually mean? I mean, to me,
Yeah.
as someone who's not a
Do you
sector
know
doesn't understand.
most of the internet
Yes.
going through marine cables. The marine cables coming from Asia through
Yes.
Suez Canal to Europe. Yeah, these marine cables transmitting all the communication and the internet and all the applications. We initiating now ICT industry in Suez Canal free zone there.
Yes.
By using all this information going through these cables. Now we're using these cables going from between Egypt and Sudan by marine
Yes.
cables. This is why we must helping Sudan through these internet cables to unifying and developing their infrastructure capability there.
Unfortunately, sir, we're out of time. Thank you so much for telling us more about Egypt's digital transformation. Dr. Abdel Wahab Ghoneim, the Vice Chairman of the Arab Federation of Digital Economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarat, my
Thank
dear.
you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
This brings us to the end of this episode of the Daily Debate, but stay tuned for more updates on Nile TV.